Thank you to all our veterans out there. This is all about Bitcoin, a show dedicated to all things questions and markets related to Bitcoin, little b for the currency, and Bitcoin, big B for the network. A collective journey to understand, apply, and use this innovation, all Bitcoin, all the time. I'm your host, Christine Lee. Let's take a live look at Bitcoin right now. The Bitcoin XBX price index is right now at $65,182. Bitcoin is pulling back almost 2% over the past 24 hours. The most reliable reference prices for institutions since 2014 are now published under the CoinDesk brand, trusted globally as the leader in crypto news, events, and data. All right, let's look at some of our top stories moving markets. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez announcing on CoinDesk TV this morning that the city of Miami will soon give out a Bitcoin yield and Bitcoin wallets to its citizens. Have a listen.
Breaking this news on your channel, we're going to be the first city in America to give a Bitcoin yield as a dividend directly to its residents. So we're going to create digital wallets for our residents, and we're going to give them a Bitcoin directly from the yield of Miami Coin.
The yield comes from the staking of Miami Coin, which was introduced earlier this year and has already earned over $21 million in the past 3 months for Miami, or 1/5 of Miami's total annual tax revenue. Suarez saying that if revenues from Miami Coin continue to grow and match the tax revenue of the city, about $400 million, Miami could run without taxes. Meanwhile, Twitter launching a dedicated cryptocurrency team led by former Tendermint developer Tess Renierson. The social giant has already integrated BTC Lightning tips, plans to integrate NFT functionality, and is working on a decentralized social protocol called Blue Sky. Renierson saying, looking farther ahead, we'll be exploring how ideas from crypto communities can help us push the boundaries of what's possible with identity, community, ownership, and more. Taking a look at some earnings, FTX US average daily trading volume skyrocketing 512% in the third quarter. The crypto exchange saying in a news release, they recorded an average daily volume of 360 million, and Canadian crypto miner Hut 8's revenue rising over 700% in the third quarter, beating out analyst estimates. Hut 8 deposited all self-mined Bitcoin into custody during the third quarter, holding on to just over 4,700 BTC, which is about $340 million.
The chart of the day is brought to you by Crypto.com, the world's fastest growing crypto app.
What's the relationship between Bitcoin, ETH, and stocks? Well, this into the block chart showing Bitcoin at the top there, ETH just below it, and all the U.S. stock indexes clumped at the bottom there include the Russell 2000, NASDAQ, S&P 500, and Dow Jones Industrial Average over a 7-day period. CoinDesk's Lila Ledesma saying this chart shows the bearish reaction, ultimately, by the end of the day, to the CPI report, which showed higher than expected inflation, rising 6.2% in October. According to CoinDesk data, the 90-day correlation between Bitcoin and the S&P 500 has increased from around 0 in June, signaling no relationship, to about 0.3% now, representing a slightly positive price relationship. Bitcoin's all-time high of just under $69,000 was reached just after the CPI report was announced. Bitcoin's precipitous drop thereafter appears to coincide with a turn lower in U.S. stock markets as analysts digest the CPI report, according to Into the Block analysis. As signaled by CoinDesk earlier this week, a more hawkish tilt at the U.S. central bank might also put downward pressure on prices of riskier assets. Joining us now to discuss Bitcoin and more is Jesse Proudman, CEO of Makara, an SEC-registered automated crypto investment advisor. Hi there, Jesse. Thanks for joining us. So Bitcoin coming off that all-time high near $69,000. We're seeing a bit of a pullback. What's your analysis of what's happening?
Yeah, it's been a fascinating week, and thanks for having me today to talk about it. I think, obviously, with the CPI announcement, people and investors were moving into assets they deemed to be an inflation hedge, and Bitcoin has historically been marketed and has acted as that asset. At the same time, I think we saw a massive spike in open interest in margined traders across the exchanges. And there's a pattern in these markets where as open interest sort of exceeds extraordinary levels, we get precipitous drop-offs like we saw So this feels just sort of like a natural, healthy movement in the market as we continue to work our way up.
Do you see a correlation with the unease in the stock markets?
I don't. I think that pullback in the afternoon was predominantly driven again by margin traders being liquidated on these exchanges. I think this is one of the challenging factors about these markets. You have 100x leverage around the globe, and liquidations there against those 100x traders cascade into everybody else who's holding spot. So it's just an unfortunate reality of how these markets operate.
Mm-hmm. I also see the different different viewpoints on, how folks are looking at the Fed. I mean, there's some are concerned over tapering of asset purchasing and a more hawkish Fed, and so they're saying no to risk assets, which would include Bitcoin. But folks in the Bitcoin community say, well, no, this is very bullish for Bitcoin because if the Fed is still doing a lot of asset purchasing, it's still very good for Bitcoin as an inflation hedge. Where do you fall?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about this asset class is we really haven't lived through a true recession, and so all of these analyses are done sort of in real time. I think this asset class, in my eyes, really stands on its own. It stands outside the bounds of traditional asset classes. And while I think sort of a more hawkish approach could have impact to risk on assets that are within the traditional realm of assets, people are here for reasons that go beyond just returns and return safety. So I think that it's an experiment. We're going to see how these markets behave as the Fed continues to do their purchasing, and I continue to be bullish on these markets as they sit today.
How are you advising clients on how to navigate this volatility?
Volatility is just an inherent part of this asset class, and to participate in it, you need to be comfortable with that reality. It's not unusual for a balance sheet to swing 5 to 10% within a day. And as we've seen over the last 24 hours, prices have rebounded based on compared to where they were from the drop. So it's just part of day-to-day life here. And we really coach our investors to think about long-term investing here. We don't believe in necessarily day trading these markets. We think clients should invest in this asset class because they want to invest sort of in the future, and they should treat these holdings like they would sort of an angel investment.
What kind of trends are you seeing between institutional versus retail investors?
It's pretty fascinating. We have seen on our platform a pretty significant interest in non-Bitcoin, non-Ethereum holdings. So almost 80% of our subscriptions into the baskets that the clients utilize on our platform are into sort of Web 3.0, metaverse, or into the universe basket, which provides exposure to the entire asset class. So the retail investor here is really interested in this as an asset class and not just an asset, and they're interested in getting exposure across many different sectors. I think the institutional investor continues to focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum, given sort of the regulatory structure of these markets and the ease of access based on the products available to those two markets. So as time goes on and those institutional clients are able to access these other assets in the asset class, we think that they will see a commensurate rise in price.
We had a bit of news this morning with Mayor SUAREZ, the mayor of Miami, that he's looking to give out Bitcoin yield and Bitcoin wallets to the citizens of Miami. I'd love to hear your reaction to that.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating experiment. And what I love to see now is that we've got the mayor of New York, we've got the mayor of Miami, mayor of Jacksonville. We have all of these politicians really turning their eyes to this asset class and becoming excited about what's here. And so how that manifests within each city's governments, I think time will tell. Would be fascinating to me to see sort of the public reaction. How did people in Miami respond to that notion? Certainly getting people educated about this asset class is a huge benefit. And so the more that can be done to solve that educational gap, I think the better off this entire industry is.
Yeah, we'll see if Mayor-elect Eric Adams can step up to the challenge and trying to make New York a crypto hub in the United States. Finally, just want to get your outlook on Bitcoin for the end of the year. Do you have a price target? Where do you think the price is headed?
Yeah, fourth quarter has historically been a very bullish quarter for this asset class. I think if you look at sort of the support and the continuous drumbeat of positive news that has been happening here, I feel very bullish about these markets. These market cycles that occur in this asset class are typically topped with a sort of what's known as a blow-off top, so very parabolic advance in price with a rapid retracement, and we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that yet. So feeling very positive about these, the entire asset class going into the end of the year.
All right, Jesse, thanks for joining us. Appreciate your insights. That was Makara CEO Jesse Proudman. Coming up, we'll talk to the first artist who is receiving a $1 million advance in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Let's go, yeah.
Listening to Atlanta-based rapper Money Man. His single's called Blockchain, and what you're seeing is music label Empire paying their first artist advance, $1 million worth of Bitcoin, to Money Man through Square's Cash App. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Money Man and Empire CEO and founder Ghazi. Welcome, gentlemen. Oh, it looks really nice out there. Thanks for coming on the show. So Money Man, Empire says you're the first artist to receive an advance in Bitcoin. Walk me through how this came about. And oh dear. Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear Money Man, Empire?
No, we can't hear you. You're very, very quiet. When you were testing the audio earlier, we could hear the other woman, but we can't hear you. I have to it's very, very faint.
See, if you could walk me through how you received your advance in Bitcoin and why.
Okay, I'll repeat the question to Money now. They want to know how did you receive your Bitcoin advance and why?
Okay, we did a partnership with Cash App where we sent $1 million through Cash App for them to sponsor the advance. I got the advance because I'm an avid crypto enthusiast. So I've been messing with crypto since 2014, 2015, way back when you had to meet somebody and you had to give them cash and then they would drop it in your wallet from their laptop. So I've been messing with the crypto space for a minute. We talked at the Bitcoin conference. I'm heavily invested. But the reason we chose Cash App was because we were trying to tap into the urban base. So if you notice, most of the urban people, they have Cash App and they're familiar with it. So they'll go buy crypto on Cash App.
Yeah, we thought it was a lowest barrier to entry point to be able to get it to as many people as possible so we can gateway people into crypto and teach them about the crypto space.
For sure.
And knowing that BTC is the most widely known form of cryptocurrency, we figured BTC was the winner in terms of what we would transfer.
And why do you believe that Bitcoin is important to help artists? How can Bitcoin help artists?
How can Bitcoin help artists?
Well, it's just a faster payment. It's a faster payment process. Like as an artist, we don't want to wait 3 months. Is it a 3-month wait time from when the DSPs pay you?
Yeah, it's about 3 months.
It's a 3-month wait time. So from what I hear, blockchain technology, you can get paid at a quicker and faster pace. Also, with independent artists, it gives them a way to put their music and spread it more as far as the technology with some of the new apps coming out, like Audius, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Are you concerned about the volatility of Bitcoin and the fees involved?
Well, it's always a concern. It's always a concern, but the greater the risk, the greater reward. That's how I feel. I believe in the future it'll pretty much it'll stabilize itself. I believe we're still on the early front of it. But in the future it'll stabilize itself on out and become the currency. It's the future. You can't deny it.
Why are you such a Bitcoin believer? And I know you used Bitcoin to buy yourself out of your last record deal. So tell me a bit about that and what you hope that Bitcoin can achieve for people, urban folks, or people where they're finding that the existing financial system is not working for them.
She said you used Bitcoin to buy yourself out of your previous deal, and how do you feel about the future of Bitcoin and how it can help people?
Well, as far as buying myself out of my previous deal, I was signed to Cash Money Records, same record label as Drake, etc. I was just an independent artist and a big businessman, so I was invested in crypto. I didn't use crypto per se to buy myself out. I just was an early crypto investor, so I made a lot of money from it early on. What was the second part of the question?
What was the second part of the question?
How will Bitcoin help folks, especially in urban city centers, who may not have access to the financial system or where they find the banking system doesn't work for them? How will it help them?
Epicenters where it's not, payment systems are not available.
Well, I believe it gives everybody peer-to-peer money sharing. I might can't explain it how I want to explain it, but I believe it could it's a better payment system. It's the evolution of money. So you had gold, then you had paper money, now you have digital money. So anybody who denies it is kind of foolish in my eyes. It's just the evolution of the money system, period. And you have certain ecosystems. So you can have your own token, just like New York City has their own coin, Miami has their own coin. You can have your own ecosystem within your people and share your finances within your people if you want to. Now, the government may try and get one type of coin to kind of consolidate everything and bring it down where they can control and monitor everything. But right now, I feel like it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. So it's opportunity for people to get their own ecosystem, share money, and get things going, profit from it. New multimillionaires and billionaires are being born every day. Right now, we're in the middle of a bull run. So it just creates new opportunities for new millionaires. The money system is shifting. Yeah. We're going into a new time. We're in the technological age, metaverses, things of that nature. So I just feel like for those in the urban community, this is the glory days right now.
Yeah, we're dropping our first NFT tonight as a company in partnership with Moneyman. But to further what he was saying, a lot of it also has to do with access. We deal with a global music economy, and in many places in the world, it's very hard to wire transfer. It's very hard to use tools like PayPal. You can't really send a physical check. And so blockchain is a lot more secure. It's transparent and it's fast. And it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, not a 9-to-5 banking system with the limitations of a banking system. So anywhere somebody can install a digital wallet, we can pay them. And Empire is getting very close to launching our own blockchain where we can just pay artists direct in a very transparent and in a very efficient manner. And Moneyman is on the front end of it, and he's helping me pioneer it. We're pioneering it together.
Great. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Sorry about the audio issues, but I love the way that you're thinking about how this technology can help folks help with mass adoption in all areas of life and culture. Thank you so much. That was Moneyman and Empire CEO and founder Ghazi. That's it for All About Bitcoin. I'm your host, Christine Lee. We'll do it all over again tomorrow at 3 p.m. in New York. You're watching CoinDesk TV.